right, Monday Math, welcome. All right, so we are going to start this morning, and our objective is to write three digit numbers in expanded form, okay? So how do we write numbers normally? That is our standard form, and we just write the numbers in order according to their place value. So I would read this 379. I'm writing it in digits. Each of these numbers is called a digit. A single number is called a digit. And I just have to make sure they're in their right place and that they're representing the right amount or value. So that's one way of writing numbers. And then we have our written form, and we would write it out in which we're really wanting to do that well and make sure we know how to spell our number words correctly, so we can do that. So we have 379, and remember we put our hyphen in between the tens and the ones place. And then our third way is right here, where we have written 300 plus 70 plus 9. And any ideas on what that is called, what kind of form that is? And I'll give you a hint, it's right up here in my objective. It is called the expanded form. And so when you expand something, you make it longer or you make it larger, okay? So like if I had one of those Chinese fans, I had it closed and then I expanded it, I've made it wider, okay? And so you can definitely tell that from 379 down to here, I have expanded that out. And when I do that, so the 3 right here, we've talked about this before. The 3 does not represent just a 3. If I had a door here and that 3 was on top and I lifted it up, hiding underneath would be 300s, which would be the same as 300. And then under the 7, that 7 does not represent 7 of something. It represents 7 tens because we have our hundreds, tens, and ones place. And so 7 tens would be 70. And then our 9 does represent 9 ones. So I'm just going to put my 9 right here. And the glue that's sticking this together in the expanded form is the plus signs, because we're adding them together, right? 300 plus 70 is 370, plus 9 more is the 379. Now, before we get going and we practice this, why do we study math? And we've gone through a lot of reasons why we learn all of this. And it's because we can look to math as an example of something that is constant, that always stays the same. And especially during right now when things are so unknown and we just don't know a lot of things right now, we do know that we serve a God that is unchanging. And math points us in that direction of his characteristic of unchanging, because 1 plus 1 is always going to equal 2, and 2 times 2 is always going to equal 4. So that just gives us that security of knowing that we serve a God that is the same yesterday and today, and he will be the same tomorrow. And our math will always equal the same thing, okay? So your 1 plus 1 is always going to equal 2. And it's a good thing to remember right now. So let's go on, and I'm going to have to turn this a little bit. Hopefully it'll work over here to this board so that we can practice a little bit. Hope you can see that. Y'all, I'm hoping to get better at this. We'll see how it goes. All right, I'm going to walk in front of the camera and get my marker. Okay, so I have 3 digits up here. You can see 452. There's a bit of a glare, but it's 452. So I'm going to write that out. My 4 represents 400, so that would be 400. I'm going to do my glue of the plus sign. My 5 represents 5 tens, that will be 50. And then my plus sign, and my 2 does represent just 2 of something. And so 452. Let's move down to the next one. You should be able to see that one better. The 803. Now this one can be tricky. I have 8 hundreds, right? Not just 8 of something. I have 8 hundreds, which would be 800. I'm going to put my glue of my plus sign. Now, do I have any tens? It says I have 0 tens, so I don't even have to write that. But when I write it, if I were to look at this written out and I was changing it to the standard form, I'd have to remember that I have to have a tens place, and I have to have that 0 there to represent that there are no tens, okay? But I do have 3 ones, and so I'm going to go ahead and put that there. And then down here we have 160, So I have 100 plus how many tens? I have 6 tens, which is 60. And then the 0 is just holding this place here that has 0 ones. I don't even have to write that, okay? You don't have to bother with that. All right, now I'm gonna move you a little bit more. Let's scoot over, hopefully that's close enough. Maybe I'll move you this way. Great, now just bear with me. Okay, so up here I have 237. And I'm going to change that from expanded form to my standard form. So my 200, I'm going to put it first in my 200s place. 30 is 3 tens, and then my 7 ones. So all I'm doing is I'm going in reverse. I'm taking my expanded form and just writing it in digits. All right, now we had one similar to this over here. 400, I'm gonna write my 4 down in the hundreds place. Now, do I have any tens? Anything on there look like tens? No, it doesn't. So I'm going to put a 0 and then my 9 ones. So you can't, you have to have something represent in that place that there are 0 of whatever it is. All right, now this one down here can be a little bit tricky because we've mixed it up. And you can do that because I can still do 50 plus 8 plus 400. I can still add it that way, okay? But what would come first? Your hundreds is your greatest, so it's gonna come first in the hundreds place, and then 5 tens, and then 8 ones. Okay, so 458. Remember, we don't say and in there. 458. And then down here we have our 7 plus 500 plus 90. So I'm gonna start with my hundreds. I have 5 of them. And how many tens do I have? 9, and then my 7, 597. All right, so there are 3 ways to write. I have a fussy puppy. There are 3 ways to write a number. You can write it in standard form with digits, you can write it in written form with words, and you can write it in expanded form where you actually show the value of each place, of each number in that place. So okay, that's our math lesson today. I'm trying to get through them quickly so that I don't have to spend a lot of time uploading them. But so for your student work, you're going to do lesson 99, A side and B side. You have time to do that. I want you to do your 2 timed worksheets, 1 minute and 15 seconds for each one. And then you're going to do practice your subtraction flashcards, whatever you need to work on. And then hopefully everybody's gotten an Extra Math account. All you have to do is Google Extra Math, and you can, Mom, Dad can set you up an account to work on whatever math facts, subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, to get you going. So I'm going to try to finish this up, and if you have any questions, you can text me, you can FaceTime me, you can, the only thing on that worksheet that we haven't worked a whole lot on was reading the compass, but I bet Mom or Dad could help you with that if you needed it. Okay, y'all have an excellent math class. Talk to you later.